So here we go, LVTS 256 100. There are manuals and settings. Okay, so you can add the battery. Comes with this for wall mounting and the product manual. Okay, so you can see this is the picture of the battery. Rubber protection as well as the battery. LVTOPSUN. This is the power wall. Okay, so this is a very portable one. So it comes with this handle for easy carrying. This is for emergency recharge. I don't know why they fixed it, so I will tear down this and we'll see why they included this later on. Okay, so this is the on and off switch. Okay, and this is the terminal. Okay, so in the terminal we also have this for covering this place. Okay, so this time around it did not come with cables. Okay, because this is a budget device, there's no cable out of the box. Okay, the only thing that comes with this is this earth cable. So they only included the earth cable and not connection cable. Dual terminal design, you have positive here, these two, and negative here, these two as well. Okay, so you are supposed to earth it, so you need earthing. No other communication, is just battery connected to your inverter and there's a screen on it. So let's turn it on. Okay, so you can see this is a voltage meter. Okay, so this is a voltage meter. So if you turn this off, then the screen goes off. So we are done with the connection now. So this battery has been connected to this my 24-volt inverter. Okay, so this inverter has been there. Now I'm using it as a testing rig. Okay, so this is the Jontech monitor we'll be using for the capacity test, and we've wired, this is the shunt and this is the monitor Bluetooth. Okay, so it has an app, it also has a screen. So let's turn the battery on with the switch I showed earlier. Okay, so that is on now. You can see that green button is flashing, and you can see here we have on the display we have 26.3 volt, and if we check the monitor here, you can see we have exactly the same voltage as well, 26.3, and the capacity is saying 99%, though we'll reset that when the battery is fully charged. So we'll be connecting the input so that we can charge up this battery to full 100%, and we can proceed with our capacity test as well as going for the tear down. So you can see we have connected the input. So let's go ahead and set the inverter. So 28.8, yes, and I do that float and bulk. So 28.8, that's it. So cut off as well, let's go. We are doing 20, so we're doing 21. All right, so that's all we need to do. So now we'll turn on the charger. So to start charging, good. So you can see the current is going up slowly. All right, so you can see the voltage is rising as well. So you can see, if you don't know the state of charge of your battery, just keep it at 100% and allow it to charge to the maximum voltage. So once this is 28.8 that we set, it means we are at the real 100%. So we don't need to calibrate this yet. So this battery is meant to be 100 amp hours. As you can see, it's meant to be 100 amp hours. So we already have 100 amp hours here. So we leave the 100 hours capacity there. The battery is getting full now. You can see as we approach 28 volts, the current is just dropping so fast. The inverter say we are at 28.7 already. Okay, so that's our target. So you can see the current is dropping so fast. The voltage is still rising. You can see here the voltage is rising, the current is dropping. Now it's dropped to 5.9. Okay, so that's it. So the battery has cut off. Okay, so the battery has cut off. Now we have full 100%, though the battery is full now, and that is it. So you can see 28.4 as the maximum we can charge to on this battery. So we'll proceed with the discharge test. So we've disconnected the charger. You can see 100%. So this is fully charged. So you can see 28.3 volts. And we have here on the app as well 28.3 volts. Okay, so this inverter has been wired to the output this time around, and we'll be using this 3.5 kilowatts to discharge this 2.5 kilowatt battery. So I'll be resetting all these to 0. So we'll do clear now. So data clearing. So confirm. Now all the data has been cleared to 0. Okay, so we'll be watching this in terms of amp hours. So we'll check here how many amp hours this will give us at the end of the day. Okay, so you can see the time, that's 1 p.m. and it's a bit cloudy out there. So I've wired the output of the inverter to this option so that we can switch all our heavy load to that inverter. So I'll make a switch now. Okay, the freezer went off, so we'll go ahead and turn on that inverter. Okay, so now we'll turn on the inverter. Okay, so that's the inverter there. So we'll turn the inverter on, and you can see, so you can see it has started counting. Okay, so this is the inverter I'll be using. So you can hear that microwave and every other thing is on. You can see the startup power is about 50 amps at the moment. Okay, so I'll be discharging this. We have about 2 ACs on. You can see it has dropped. The freezer already kicked in as well. So that is it. So that is on gem mode, 0.5 power. This is 1.5 horsepower. You can see also on gem mode, 32 amps currently, 1:15 p.m. So you can see the ACs are on. So it's telling us that at this rate we'll be down in 2 hours. So let's see how many amp hours we're able to get from this system. So the bedroom AC is consuming, let's see, it's 160 watts. The sitting room AC is consuming, let's see, okay, 0.55 kilowatts, 57% remaining capacity now. Okay, so we have done 42. Okay, so you can see 42 amp hours has been done. So we have about 1 hour 40 minutes left. Okay, so the ACs are still on, so we are consuming about 780 watts at the moment, 780 watts. Okay, so the AC in the bedroom consuming, let's see, 200 watts at the moment, and let's see the other AC consumption. So it's also consuming 530 watts. Okay, so this is recording the average load on the inverter. So you can see the average load has been around 750 watts thereabout. Okay, so we have freezer and fridge with 2 AC running at this time of this test. Okay, so the ACs, they're consuming the 1 horsepower 200 watts, the 1.5 horsepower is consuming 500 watts still, so the same. So the freezer and the fridge are just consuming little or no power. You can see the inside of the freezer is frozen already. Yeah, and the fridge is also idling, so you can see. So we have done 82.86, and we've been running this for about 2 hours 30 minutes. Okay, so 2 hours 30 minutes running 2 ACs, 1 fridge and 1 freezer with this 2.56 kilowatt hours lithium battery. Okay, so we are drawing about 900 watts. So it was the freezer and the fridge that kicked in, that started consuming higher power. So we have done 90% depth of discharge. So our voltage has dropped to 24.96. okay, so you can see we are drawing about 1069 watts from the battery, though from the inverter side we are only drawing 945, exactly 95 amp hours now. So that's 95% depth of discharge. LVTOPSUN always prove they have complete capacity in their battery. I'm aiming at the voltage. What capacity are we going to have at 24 volts? 96 amp hours now, 96.6, and the voltage is still way above 24 volts. I charge to 28.8 and the cutoff is at 21 volts. Let's see if we are able to get this low, exactly 98%, and you can see our voltage is still way above 24 volts. This is why I tell people that DOD does not really matter. Most of you will cut off at 24 volts. When cutting off at 24 volts, you already use all the capacity in the battery. So there's no point saying you are doing 80% DOD or 100% DOD. So if you set cutoff voltage to be 24 volts, automatically you are using all the capacity you have in the battery. 99 amp hours now, and our voltage is still way above 24. This is a great battery in my opinion. This is very good. Okay, so let's calculate the efficiency of this inverter. The efficiency of the inverter is simple, so we'll just do 835 divided by what's consuming from the battery, 960. So 960. Okay, so here you can see this inverter is 87% efficient, 100 amp hour. Wow, that is interesting. So that's 23.5 on our battery, and here we have done over 100 amp hours. You can see 101.5. okay, now we are at 23 volts, so you can see the rate at which the battery drops from 24 volts to 22. So there's no point. So cut off your battery at 24 volts, 102 amp hours. You can see 102 amp hours, 22.6. The battery is yet to shut down. Our inverter was set to cut off at 21 volts, but the battery is still going. So let's see which one will cut off first. Wow, 103 amp hours, 20 point. Really? Okay, so it's off. This is a great one. Yeah, great result in my opinion. So you can see the voltage on the battery bounced up. The inverter shut down before the battery did. So we're able to reach 20.8 and the BMS did not shut down, and we pulled 103.58 amp hours. Thank you. Let's move to the teardown. Okay, so now we'll proceed to the teardown of this battery. Okay, so we'll open it up and see how this battery was made and how the cells look like. Okay, so you can see the voltage has bounced up to 22.4 after it got to about 21 volts. Okay, so you can see the battery is still active. It did not shut down on us, but the inverter went off at our 21 volts cutoff. Okay, so we strongly recommend that you cut off at 24 volts. Okay, so 24 volts is where you should cut off when you use this battery to avoid issues. Okay, but we are doing this just to see what happens if you don't follow that rule. Whoa, so it comes off like this. Oh, this already removed. So this for the voltage monitor. So you can see it's just two wires that comes in, red and black, just to sense
voltage. So you can see how the battery is built, protection all over. You can see this is a good quality build. So you can see the BMS on the side as well. Heat and fire resistance on each of the cable, and you can see cable ties everywhere. So this is a pre-charge resist. This is a momentarily switch here. This is the way I built my battery 4 years ago. I actually put a resistor for pre-charging the battery. So let's test that out. So you see, once you press this, you can see that's pre-charge. So you can use that to pre-charge your inverters and avoid sparks. So the next thing here is to scan one of these cells and see what cells was used. Okay, so let's do that now. Another thing I like about this battery is how compact they make the battery look. You can see this is a compression plate. These are compression plastics on each of the batteries, as well as compression frame on the side and on the top of the batteries. Okay, and there is this hole on the explosion valve in case of any issue. And you can see these terminals are well laser welded on the terminal, so there is no friction at all. All right, so let's scan one of these QR code and see. Okay, you can see how neat these cells are. Okay, so trying to scan. My camera is not that sharp. Oh, great. Okay, so let's see. So the cell type here this time around is Cornex, C-O-R-N-E-X. Okay, so the cell type here is Cornex cells, and you can see the production date here is 2024. Okay, 27th October 2024. That's when this cell was made.